to what's effectively get rich quick schemes. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do make sure to like, subscribe.
I respect the predation of their Reina. It's almost inspiring.
This is the story of Seo Jun, who became the world's strongest simply...
Hey! Watch your eyes! Look your feet. Careful now!
Bot coming back.
by farming with his cute monster pets and even evolving them, like these poison bees evolving into a thick, a cute human-like bee. But things weren't always like this for him. It all started 10 years ago when a mysterious black tower appeared everywhere. The tower was so strong that not even a nuclear bomb could destroy it. One day, people began coming out of the tower and sharing their experiences. They said they were sucked into a portal and ended up inside the tower. When they entered, they gained amazing powers. If they conquered the tower, they could get great rewards and mythical items, like a golden ticket that let ordinary people enter and gain powers too.
What's up? What's up? Hit. Turret out.
No.
These be.
Turret destroyed. Enemy spotted B. Enemy spotted B. Enemy
30 seconds left.
eliminated.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Good. We're good.
Remember, nobody's a hero when they're crying for air.
Placing sentry.
Together.
Here. Here.
Turning A. Thing is safe.
Goodbye. Oh. Omen killed. 30 seconds left. Spike planted.
Flash! Dead! My ultimate's ready!
One enemy remaining.
Careful now. We good. We good. Reloaded.
This is fun. Who needs training dummies when you have real dummies? Need a drop.
Can I get this? They keep clawing at our wall. Pathetic.
A.
You're in, you're in.
Bunch of guys, eh?
Spike planted.
Reloading.
Last player standing.
Don't stress if I die. It was great knowing you all. Also, delete my hard drive.
Turret out.
I'll clip that jet's wings.
Hey.
Enemy spotted A.
One down. Sorry, bro. Come on, let's go!
One dead.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Your duty is not over.
No!
You can do that too. Their MVP is mine. Let's do this.
Need a drop. Thanks.
Sentry.
On B, on my B.
Just seeing one top mid.
Someone's in attack of spawn.
Bomb grenade out.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Going up. Flash.
Prepare yourselves. We fight once again. Get out of my way!
Turret out.
Here.
Nowhere to run.
Someone's A.
You should run. My ult's ready.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Toxin screen down.
Spike planted.
You man ready for a light show?
Time to clear.
Need a drop. Thanks. What's this?
Enemy spotted B. Don't get in my way.
The hunt begins.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Oh. Finished. Reyna killed. I hate to say it, but probably best to play as a team. So, what's the plan?
Here.
Hold those angles.
Here.
Elliot? Many enemies A.
Someone's A.
That's done.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate's ready. You tried. I felt that.
help figuring out how.
Turret out.
Let's go!
Enemy spotted.
Lock in sight.
Variable remove. Oh.
Someone's B. Come on, let's go!
Enemy
Watch your
spotted
eyes.
mid.
Someone's B. Careful now. Target down. Going up.
One enemy remaining. Spike down B.
Spike spotted B.
30 seconds left.
Watch your eyes.
Ten seconds left. Last player standing.
Is everyone's tech still working? Double check it, please.
Anyone have funds to spare? Anyone have funds to spare?
Need a drop.
Turret out.
Let's go.
Placing alarm bot. Placing swarm grenade. My double's dead. No more sober. Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
One enemy remaining.
Down.
Could have predicted this. All right, I did.
Last round before the switch.
We can't take anything with us after this.
Placing sentry. Quick peek now.
The hunt begins.
You say.
No, you don't. My old
Spike planted.
Hey. Flash.
Good. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Going up. Nowhere to run.
Clutch. Switching sides.
Remember, stay out of the fire. Super
high level tech to remember, yeah?
Reloading.
flash.
Careful. Rest. For you.
Father. Here.
Careful now. Reload him.
Watching here.
One enemy remaining.
Poison's off.
You are in our way.
Let them try to get through me.
Come down. Win, bro.
Did you give me spike?
Bury them.
Smoke mid, Weber.
Turret out.
Going up. Someone's A. Embarrassing.
Planted.
Here.
Reloading.
Got one.
1-3. 1-3.
One enemy remaining. Flawless.
Stop playing checkers.
I can hold an area pretty well myself. Make sure to cover the angles I can't.
Eat your own heart out, Reyna. Careful. Placing sentry.
Swarm grenade out.
Our spike is down. Turret destroyed.
Spike down B.
We tend to catch.
Someone's near.
Look.
You're out.
Going up.
Last player standing.
Together, we will bury them under their transgressions.
Reloading. I'll take everything from them.
Placing sentry. Come on, let's go! Enemy spotted. My ultimate is ready.
One inside.
Oh! Good eye. Here.
Reloading. Careful.
Watch your
Left,
eyes.
left. What?
Blocking sight.
Going up.
Light planted.
Two heaven, maybe.
Enemy spotted A.
Enemy down.
One enemy remaining.
There you are, you shit.
Everyone makes fun of German efficiency.
I need a drop.
Laughing as you
Use all my gear.
Cheers.
I have extra money if anyone needs.
I need a drop.
Can I get this? Cheers. Thanks.
Spike.
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Raven's gone. Turret out.
Nice.
Enemy spotted.
Target destroyed.
Reloading. Careful.
Enemy spotted me. Perfect accuracy. My ultimate is ready.
Play time.
Last player standing.
Poison orb emitting.
Oh, damn!
One enemy remaining. Clutch.
I almost broke a sweat.
Oh my god, wrong line up. Sorry.
If any of you die, I lose a bet with Brimstone, so don't embarrass me like that, please.
My bad, bro.
Nice.
Keep up. Get out of my way!
Turret out.
My double's dead. Placing swamp grenade. Swamp grenade out.
Help, help.
One down.
Here.
Shoot, bro. One mid. One mid, bro. Go, 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 go.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Initiated.
Three, I think.
Lockdown destroyed.
You tried.
Careful now.
Match point.
Once we win, just dump all your tech in my lab. I'll fix it up.
Jet, you look, bro.
Here.
Reloading.
See.
Watching this.
as one. Placing swarm grenade.
Nowhere to run!
The hunt begins.
Someone's been.
Spike carrier is dead. Sentry.
Spike down B.
Turret down.
Careful now.
Placing swarm grenade. Swarm grenade out.
Got spike. Reload him.
Alarm bot out.
Here.
Found them.
I have the spike.
Scatter.
Last player standing. Thirty seconds left.
You can trust my boss. I only now punch you back one time. Honestly, she won't miss that finger.
I'm saving. Fight! Placing swarm grenade. Placing sentry.
Enemy removed.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
You want me serious? You got it.
Keep it cool. That's how you survive.
Mid up. Mid up, mid up. I do you.
Turret out.
Lab, lab.
Spike planted.
Placing swarm grenade. Alarm bot out. You should run.
Watch your eyes. No, you don't. Careful now.
One enemy remaining.
Three.
Here. Here.
Last player standing.
Poison orb emitting. Poison's off.
Attackers win.
Well, the town is gone, but our world stays afloat. I'll take that trade.
trying to log in now.
Our hero, Seo-jun, dreams of buying a ticket and entering the tower one day. But suddenly a black hole appeared behind him in the empty space. Startled, Seo-jun stared at the black hole, his heart racing with excitement about the possibility of fulfilling his dreams. He closed his eyes, thinking the hole will suck him in like others, but to his surprise, black hole hadn't transported him anywhere. Confused and alarmed, he muttered, "Why am I still here?" Before he could contemplate any further, the black hole began to shrink. "No, my future!" he shouted in desperation, unwilling to give up on his dreams. Determined to get into the tower at any cost, Seo-jun charged into the black hole with reckless abandon. As he disappeared into the darkness, he could feel his heart pounding in his chest, wondering where he would end up. When Seo-jun finally emerged from the black hole, he was confused and disoriented as, on the first floor of the tower, there were supposed to be luxurious chandeliers lighting up the area. But this place was a cave made of rocks, with the only exit was the hole in the cave ceiling. Frustrated, he screamed, "Where the hell am I?" Trapped and alone, our protagonist found himself in a dire situation within the mysterious tower he had longed to enter. He had spent a full day searching for an exit. To his disappointment, the only exit was the hole in the cave ceiling. However, climbing the wall to reach the arched hole in the ceiling seemed impossible unless he was Spider-Man. As he pondered his fate, the sudden ringing of his phone alarm startled him. Despite being lost in this strange place, the alarm assured him that it had been exactly one day since he arrived. Hungry and disoriented, he rummaged through his meager supplies to assess his situation. With only a bottle of water, 27 cherry tomatoes, 10 green onions, 7 pumpkin sweet potatoes, and a washed apple, he had to make his provisions last. He decided to eat the apple first, savoring its sweetness and the momentary relief it provided. Each bite of his other raw vegetables brought unexpected pleasure, their flavors and textures a surprising delight. After finishing 1 sweet potato and 5 cherry tomatoes, Seo-jun picked up a green onion, and then he buried the white part of the onion root in the soft soil where the sunlight entered. Then he planted 2 sweet potatoes on the left side and cherry tomatoes on the right side. Then suddenly, the ground beneath our protagonist's feet trembled violently, the shockwave coursing through his body, causing him to shudder in pain and confusion. "What's going on?" he muttered. As he tried to steady himself, he noticed the light streaming down from the cave ceiling had taken on an eerie blue hue. His eyes widened in disbelief as a colossal black dragon appeared in the sky, its roar reverberating throughout the cavern. The sight of the majestic creature soaring through the air, bathed in the blue light, left him in awe. Before he could fully process the bizarre sight, his vision blurred, and he succumbed to unconsciousness. Upon awakening, our protagonist struggled to regain his bearings. He was astonished to learn that he had been unconscious for 2 whole days. His shock only intensified when he turned around to find a fully grown tree standing behind him. "What the? A tree? Isn't this a green onion that I planted? When did it grow this big? Was the green onion something that could grow this big within 2 days?" he thought. He couldn't help but wonder if the mysterious power within the tower had affected not only the green onion, but also the other plants he had sown. To his amazement, he discovered that 52 cherry tomato sprouts had emerged as well. Determined to make the most of his newfound resources, he began harvesting the enormous green onion. The task was more challenging than he anticipated, but eventually he succeeded in gathering the crop. Curious about the taste of this extraordinary plant, he took a cautious bite. To his surprise, it was so spicy that his eyes became watery and his face turned red. He immediately ran towards the pond next to him and drank some water to calm down, swearing he would never eat this thing raw ever again. Now, to calm down his taste buds, he started eating cherry tomatoes, thinking that the sun never set there. Instead, the blue moon phenomenon occurred on the 10th floor. casting the area into temporary darkness. 10 years had passed since the tower's mysterious appearance, and the powerful Phoenix Guild had managed to clear up to the 37th floor. Little information was available about the floors above the 30th. However, he knew from YouTube videos that skeletons roamed floors 10, goblins on 11, orcs on 20, and spider monsters from the 31st floor onwards. What puzzled him was the dragon he had encountered. No one had ever mentioned dragons or lizard-like creatures in the tower. Which floor is this? He wondered. Lying down, he wondered if he was on a floor so high that no one had yet reached it. Just then, water droplets fell on his face, and he quickly got up. Was it raining in the tower? He had heard that the weather was almost always pleasant, grew scared, thinking it might be a monster. But the creature he saw approached him, revealing its
It's like Google and Google.com. It's not gonna be that much. It should be more.
The beginning. I am the end.
Himself to be a cute rabbit drooling over his crops. He was surprised and wondered if the rabbit was a monster too. The rabbit jumped from the ceiling and he rushed to catch it, but the rabbit used his head as a stepping stone and landed safely on the ground. It hopped over to the green onion plants, and Sejun realized that this rabbit was something extraordinary. The rabbit pointed at the green onion plants, and Sejun asked if it wanted to eat them. The rabbit responded, and he understood that it wanted to eat. He broke off a leaf of green onion and handed it to the rabbit, who eagerly accepted. As the rabbit devoured the leaf, he told it that it could have more if it liked. Then he noticed that the plants had already grown back. At this rate, he would have to harvest them twice daily. But the rabbit started saying something loudly, and he realized it wasn't talking to him. He looked up at the cave entrance and saw another rabbit approaching. She landed and handed the first rabbit a straw hat and a watering can, and they both stood before him. He was surprised to see another rabbit and thought that the two might be related. He asked the rabbits if they were married, and they confirmed his suspicion. The next day, we see the rabbits farming and being very happy, while Sejun...
Hello.
Reloading. Reloading.
Cover going out.
Headshot.
Bomb buddy out.
Shadows traveling.
Wait. Careful flying.
Camera careful now.
Shadows traveling.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Caution here.
Nice, bro.
Ai.
Nah, bro.
Nice.
One of my cameras is broken. Oh. Okay.
It begins.
B, step.
Multiple enemies B.
Cover going out.
Watching here. Enemy spotted mid. Right there. Enemy spotted mid.
Spike down mid.
Enemy spotted mid.
One enemy remaining.
Yes.
No.
Spikes, buddy.
Nice.
Yes.
No one beats my firepower. I got this. Reloading.
This is gonna be fun.
Step B.
Multiple enemies B.
Shadows
Enemy spotted
traveling.
mid. They will cover.
My fan, don't take my fan.
Shadows traveling.
I must wait a moment.
Bro.
I must wait a moment. Cage trigger.
Why?
Chill, bro.
Spike planted.
Bro. Hey. Go A, bro. Painting A.
Blocking sight.
Nice. Shotgun.
One enemy remaining.
No charges left.
Refill.
I defuse things in my sleep.
No time. That's right.
Last player standing. Clutch.
Raise, you powder keg. Nice work.
Hey, right. Don't block me.
Enemy spotted B.
Cover going out.
Caution here.
Cover going out.
You will not kill my
Here.
No.
Thick. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. Still in sight. Still in sight. Last player standing.
Sorry.
My bad.
Reflects on how all of this happened. Yesterday, after the rabbits introduced themselves to him, they told him that they wanted to live in the cave. They looked too cute as they tried to persuade him. Sejun felt that he might die from the cuteness overdose and accepted their request on one condition. He told the rabbits that they could not live there for free. If they helped him with farming, he would consider letting them stay. He thought it would dissuade the rabbits a bit, but instead of hesitating, they jumped at him and started cuddling. Now, he is sitting in his spot, watching the rabbits work. He thinks that the rabbits are using their cow aid the rabbits a bit, but
Grenade! My ult's ready.
Oh!
instead of hesitating, they jumped at him and started cuddling. Now, he is sitting in his spot, watching the rabbits work. He thinks that the rabbits are using their cuteness to control him, but he lets it slide. Before we proceed further into the video, it took a lot of time and effort to make this video, so if you haven't liked this video and subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for supporting this channel. Now let's continue with the video. He asks the rabbits if the tools they were using were special items. The husband rabbit had a watering can that seemed to have an endless supply of water, and Sejun is not sure about it, but it seemed to him that the wife rabbit had a magic pocket that contained all the tools she needed for farming. Sejun says that he is jealous and wishes he had such a wonderful item.
Away.
Shadows traveling.
Go away, go away, go away.
Spike planted.
Don't block me.
My ultimate is ready.
Reloading.
Cover going out. Still in sight.
Enemy spotted A.
One enemy remaining.
Item. The rabbits have completed harvesting the green onions, and they are excited to show them to Sejun. Sejun tells them to dry the green onions and starts inspecting other crops, but the rabbits are looking at Sejun with eager and impatient eyes. They are asking him a question, and Sejun understands what they want. He tells them that they passed his test, and now they can live in the cave. The rabbits jump for joy upon hearing the good news and start talking about something. They rush to a corner of the cave, and Sejun wonders what they are up to now. The wife gives her husband a shovel, and he starts digging. In no time, he creates a home for himself and his wife. The wife places a floral wreath on the door of their new house and welcomes her husband to enter, but he is exhausted from digging and building a house and can barely stand. Sejun approaches them and says that the husband rabbit was great for making a house so quickly. The husband rabbit gives him a thumbs up, but then he feels his wife's hand on his shoulder. She is blushing and cutely pointing at the door, and the husband is terrified. He is scared, but his wife drags him along for some sweet lovemaking. Sejun hears the sounds coming from their house and wishes the husband all the best, but he is crying inside as he is jealous of him for having a wife. That jealousy does not last long, and Sejun walks back to his spot. He says that it was boring to be alone in the cave, and now, thanks to the rabbits, he has someone to help him and something cute to look for. Then he lay down onto the bed made up of onion leaves to rest comfortably, but after some time he felt something burning. Suddenly his back started burning. He jumps into a standing position and rolls on the ground, feeling that his back is on fire. He is wondering what just happened as he gets up, and he sees the reason behind it. The plastic water bottle filled with water was acting as a lens and burning the dried onion leaves. Sejun had knowledge from a renowned survival show, learning that rubbing two dry leaves together might produce fire. He had been trying for hours without success. success, his frustration and disappointment mounting. Yet just as he was on the verge of giving up, a tiny spark caught his eye, and a thrill of excitement surged through him. Curious about Sejun's activities, the rabbits emerged from their dwelling to investigate. He enlisted their aid in fanning the embers by blowing on the pile of dried leaves while he employed a bottle as a lens. United in their efforts, the trio persevered, and at long last the leaves burst into flames. Triumphant, Sejun reveled in his newfound ability to create fire. Casting a glance at the onion plants, he opted to cook them over the open flame. He roasted one stalk, peeled away the charred exterior, and took a tentative bite. To his amazement, the cooked onion leaf was so delectable that he couldn't help but exclaim in delight. Declaring it delicious, he eagerly began roasting another. Intrigued by the transformative effects of cooking, the rabbits decided to try it for themselves. They too roasted an onion leaf, and as they sampled the sweet treat, their eyes sparkled with the pleasure of experiencing a new and delightful flavor. Sejun was very happy, as, for the first time, he had eaten a full stomach. In the past few days, after discovering fire with the help of the rabbits, Sejun made torches out of green onion leaves and placed them around the cave. This helped him to roam around the cave easily, especially in the dark areas like the pond. He was near the pond with a torch in his hand when he saw something moving in the water. A fish jumped out of the water, and Sejun was so startled that he barely dodged its open mouth. The fish had jumped with too much power and found itself on land, unable to return to the water. This was the first time Sejun had seen a fish in the cave. He wondered if the fish was attracted to the light of the torch, and his intuition was proved correct. And just like that, Sejun discovered fish in the cave. He killed the fish and roasted it over the fire, even though he had no seasoning. The fish was really tasty, and Sejun found the rabbits drooling as he ate the fish and asking for their share. He was shocked because he had not expected rabbits to be meat-eaters, but since they were basically monsters, he thought it was natural. A few days later, the blue moon appeared once again, and Sejun realized that on this floor, the blue moon phenomenon occurred every 30 days. He had been relying on his laptop and power bank to charge his phone and keep track of the date, but eventually they too reached their limit. Unable to use his phone any longer, Sejun began marking the days on the cave wall with a stone. So it's been 61 days, he said. A few days ago, something amazing had happened. Sejun had seen a tired male rabbit open the door of his house, and without wasting a moment, a group of baby rabbits bolted out. They were the children of the rabbit couple that had been recently born, and they had become fond of Sejun, who had become their uncle. They ran straight at Sejun and jumped on him, causing him to fall to the ground. They were really cute, and Sejun couldn't get enough of their cuteness, even as they nibbled at his face. He laughed and enjoyed their company. Sejun looked at the sleep-deprived husband rabbit and said that raising babies must be hard. But for now, he would take care of the babies for a while, and the couple should relax and eat breakfast. The cherry tomato plants had started flowering, and Sejun took the baby rabbits with him to check them out. The babies frolicked around on the farm as Sejun inspected his plants. The flowers had bloomed, and even though they were tomato flowers, Sejun now thought he had a flower garden. To bear fruit, pollination was necessary, and he had to do it manually. Sejun used a small stick to artificially pollinate the flowers, but all the bending and working was taking a toll on his back. A baby rabbit put its face inside a flower and got pollen on its face. It sneezed, and Sejun started laughing. But then, Sejun noticed something. The tomato plants had started to bear fruit. After so long, his hard work was starting to show some results. Sejun celebrated the first fruits of his cherry tomato plants and danced with the baby rabbits. The day before the blue moon, Sejun made preparations to survive it. He put out the fire and stored a small amount of burning leaves under huge boulders. He was wearing makeshift clothes made from
No prisoners.
Watch this!
Grenade!
Enemy spotted.
Fire in the hole!
Blinding.
Bomb buddy out.
Face your fear!
Satchel out.
Spike planted.
One down.
onion leaves, thinking that it would be enough to stay warm and hidden. The rabbits also headed back to their homes as the time for the blue moon drew near. Something scary always happened whenever the blue moon occurred, but Sejan was
One
confident
enemy remaining.
that they would survive it like the previous ones. He thought it was going to be a piece of
Last
cake,
player
and
standing.
June was not afraid, but he was tired and hoped that the blue moon would end soon. To prepare for an unlikely situation, he had already hidden things with a strong odor and was now hiding in a corner. However, since it was hard to tell how much time had passed, he was growing tired of waiting. The monster cries did not help either. They were far away, but they could still make him shiver. As Sejun hoped that this blue moon would also pass without incident, he heard a loud roar. It was different and more intense than the voices of other monsters, almost as if it were close to him. Indeed, a huge monster was walking towards the cave, squashing full-grown trees beneath its feet. It approached.
Step.
Enemy spotted A.
Mid.
Camera taken out. Shadows traveling. They found my wire.
Raise B. No, raise mid.
Cover going out.
Raise and tower.
Fuck.
Spike planted.
Experiment complete.
Last player standing. Last round in the half.
Use everything you have. We lose it anyway.
There.
Caution here. Let's go here.
Spike down mid.
Multiple enemies B.
Where is it?
Reloading.
Reload.
Go get him.
One enemy remaining.
Go on my mark.
Reloading.
Cutting their
No one left to send a message. Oh well.
Switching sides.
The spike is here. Now remember.
What's the prince from our guns? It's just good currency. Don't have the spike.
There.
Go B.
No, we're going.
Caution here. Okay. Need help. Set up. On my mark.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
Enemy spotted A.
Goodbye.
Spike planted.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading.
Team Ace.
I know that, bro.
They're usually distracted once I reveal them. Make sure
Hey,
to
hey,
take
come in.
advantage.
Give me a Gauss.
Gun here.
Caution here.
Bleed them dry. Caution here.
Shadows traveling.
Double smoke.
Feeling sight. Watching here.
Someone is
Ding 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 ding.
Enemy spotted B.
Ding one, ding one.
One enemy remaining.
Nice. Nice bros.
Do you want to dance?
Hey, Reina. Hey, Reina. Sorry. Please.
Jump 10 times.
Claw through them. Shadows traveling. No.
Our spike carrier is killed.
The fuck over
Spike down A.
Wait, bro.
Cage triggered. Here.
Gun, please, gun. Side.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Tower. Oh, plan.
I have the spike.
Rồi.
Their lives are so meaningless. Might as well give them to me.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, bro. You have skin Phantom.
I need this.
Phantom.
I need this.
I go from it.
Grenade!
Very bad.
Cover going out. Cover going out. Still in sight.
Reloading. Watching here. Caution here.
They will cower. Blind fools. Go get him. See nothing. One enemy remaining.
I planted the spike. My ultimate is ready.
Enemy spotted B. There you are, you little shit.
Cage triggered.
The symphony of death. I'm pouring to the juice to it.
Just kidding, bro. Race.
Enemy spotted B.
ใกล้
Spike down. Spike down mid.
Hi bro
I have the spike. Last player standing.
see
Go B, go B, go B.
behind you
Chill.
30 seconds left.
say
Ah! Sorry.
oh not trying
You're going to scatter from my stuff. Super easy to pick off.
Whoa, Jet, you blocked my vision, bro.
The entrance to the cave, which was too small in comparison to its size. The monster stared down the hole, and inside, Sejun gaped at it. He was scared of the giant bear-like monster in front of him, but thankfully, the monster had not noticed him yet. Sejun thought he should hide in a better place before the monster spotted him. He was trembling as he picked up his bag and started moving quietly and slowly. However, taking the bag with him turned out to be a mistake. As he picked up his belongings,
Last player standing.
the things inside the bag dropped, creating a loud noise due to the empty water bottle. The monster's attention was attracted by the sound. Sejun stared in horror, first at his stuff, and then up at the beast, who was now trying to peek inside the cave. Sejun screamed in fear, and the bear roared in response. A few moments later, Sejun was found unconscious with the rabbits trying to wake him up. When the baby rabbits failed to rouse him, their father slapped Sejun, and he woke up. He was still afraid of what he had seen before passing out, and asked the rabbits what had happened to the blue moon. As he looked around, he realized that it had ended. The husband rabbit told Sejun that he was unconscious when they found him, and said that he had passed out.
No, bro. Chill.
Healer down.
Spike down A.
Slow push, bro. Slow push.
Shadows traveling. Shadows traveling.
Spike down A.
My ultimate is ready. Blinding.
Lock in sight.
Last player standing.
When he saw the monster, Sejun wanted to know what had happened after that. He had been terrified and couldn't move when the monster tried to force its way into the cave, and he had passed out after the monster roared. Sejun remembered the incident and shivered. He had almost lost his life at the hands of that monster. Feeling cold, the wife rabbit created a large fire and a blanket of onion leaves. Sejun sat in front of the fire with the baby rabbits snuggled up to him. The wife rabbit also brought him roasted fish, and Sejun thanked her. As he ate, Sejun realized that the monster had noticed this plate. It may have been due to another monster, or because it couldn't get inside the cave due to the small entrance, but the monster had left without causing harm. However, there was no guarantee that he would be safe if it returned. He thought he had gotten lucky this time, but it might go differently next time. After everything he had done to survive, he didn't want to die. He decided that the best course of action was to eat well and stay alive. While Sejun was eating, the husband rabbit approached him, wanting to show him something. Sejun followed him and found something unbelievable, a ripe cherry tomato, but it was nothing like he had expected. It was blue and glistening in the sunlight. Sejun was shocked, but the blue color wasn't the first thing he noticed about the fruit. He bent down and tried to pick up the large, ripe fruit, then wondered why it was blue. As he pondered this, a window appeared in front of Sejun, informing him that he had completed the quest to harvest the fruit containing the energy of the blue moon. Sejun was shocked. He couldn't believe that the thing in front of him was an actual message window. The message on the window changed, and now it said that the tower manager was interested in him because of his amazing achievements. It had been keeping a keen eye on Sejun, but it wasn't happy. Confused, Sejun wondered why the tower manager wouldn't be happy with him, and the husband rabbit didn't know what was going on either. Sejun learned that he was not a duly invited guest, and the tower manager had accepted it as a blunder. It wanted to eliminate Sejun. Shocked, he asked the window what it meant. Was it a mistake that he had ended up in the tower? He angrily said that if that were the case, he should be allowed to go home immediately. But the window said that the tower master wanted to kill Sejun to eradicate all proof of this mistake. Sejun was flabbergasted. He screamed at the screen, saying that he had completed a wonderful achievement, and Sejun, elated, was displayed. Early, his assigned job was a tower. He went and warrior and a magician inside the talent could focus.
Let's go ahead and make $1,988 a week, because that's actually the amount you need to make weekly in order to become a six-figure earner. And listen, I know that for some of you guys, you're sitting here and you're wondering, there's 17 different methods out there on how to make 100K a year online in 2023. I just need to know what is the best option for me personally. And that's exactly why from the 10th to the 17th of July, I'm going to peel back the curtain and I'm going to tell you exactly based on your personality type, not just blanket statement, this is the best way to make 100K a year, but this is the best way to make 100K a year depending on your personality type, depending on the lifestyle that you want. Really picking apart the best business models and giving you a formula to decide the best one for you. So if you want to get access to this free outline event, click the link below this video, type in your information, and you will have access to Remote Revolution. Now you may be wondering, Eman, why are you doing this? And that's honestly because I'm 8 years into running a business. A lot of the things that I put out on YouTube is just kind of what I'm interested in. But unfortunately, the things I'm interested in as a person who makes tens of millions of dollars a year is very different to the things that you need to focus on as a beginner. So I'm personally making this event, Remote Revolution, for the 15 or 16-year-old me that just want a bit of clarity, a bit of direction on where to go in life. So if you also want a bit of clarity and a bit of direction, then make sure you enroll in Remote Revolution, and I will see you there.
Buried.
Spike down.
No, plan B.
And looked at his farm, then at the tomato in his hand. He wasn't alone in growing. Everyone had worked hard to reach this point. Sejun decided that he would continue farming, and the rabbits were happy. Sejun looked at the blue tomato in his hand, and an information window opened up telling him about the tomato. It was a magical cherry tomato imbued with the power of the blue moon. Not only was it tasty and nutritious, but when consumed, it would increase one's MP by 0.05 permanently. Sejun was shocked. The tomato in his hand was actually an item. Even though the effect was small, it was permanent and could boost one's stats. Sejun was amazed by himself. He had grown something as great as this, but the tower manager was watching him and wasn't satisfied with how things were going. As Sejun thanked the rabbits and celebrated with them for achieving this feat, a message window popped up in front of him. A quest had been triggered. He had to offer the blue cherry tomato to the manager. The reward for the quest was a job-related skill, and the penalty for refusing was death. Sejun read the entire message, and when he saw that the penalty was death, he became scared. He asked the window if it was a joke out of anger. He accused the admin of blackmailing him and using the name of a quest to justify his actions. Sejun told the admin that if he wanted the blue tomato, he should ask for it properly. If the admin played dirty games like this and made it look like he was giving Sejun options, that would not be good. Sejun was a bit relieved after venting his anger, but then he realized the death penalty and politely offered the blue tomato. The tomato in Sejun's hands vanished, and he received a message that he had completed the quest. The next window displayed the quest reward, and Sejun was excited to receive it. He knew it was a job-related skill, but since he had been focusing solely on the death penalty, he had momentarily forgotten about it. Sejun flattered the tower manager, calling him generous. Then, he decided to check what kind of skill he had obtained and opened the quest reward. The reward was the skill sowing at level 1. This skill slightly increased the probability of germination when a seed was planted. Sejun Sejun didn't know how to react, but he was certainly disappointed. However, he consoled himself, saying that since his job was that of a tower farmer, he couldn't expect much from the reward anyway. He went to the dark parts of the cave with a torch and encountered a fish that jumped out towards the flame. Sejun used a club made of green onion stems and leaves to hit it towards the lamp. The fish died, and Sejun learned that it was a piranha he had killed. The information window informed him that he had gained 2 experience points for it. This was the 5th fish Sejun had caught, and with that, he now had 10 experience points. After awakening as a farmer, Sejun...
I need this.
No, find out.
I need this.
Phantom.
I need this. Snuff them out.
No, I have OD.
Wall, B wall.
Sejun was able to collect experience points. He caught several piranhas every day for several days and reached level 2. He wanted to catch more of them, but he knew it was a bad idea. He thought he shouldn't kill a living thing without reason. Besides, he obtained valuable protein from the fish. If he killed all of them and their population went extinct, he wouldn't be able to eat them again. Sejun roasted the fish and called his friends to eat. The baby rabbits were much hungrier than their parents. They ran towards Sejun, who was like their human uncle, and he gave them fish wrapped in onion leaves. They had grown a little and started eating a lot more than before. Sejun asked them to leave some food for their mom and dad as well. There was another benefit Sejun received from awakening. He could get information about the rabbits. He gave them their share, and the rabbits happily accepted it. They were farmer white rabbits, and Sejun had a few ideas about how they ended up with him. They were a type of monster he had never heard of outside the tower. Based on their name, Sejun realized that they specialized in farming, not fighting. He thought that this must be the reason they were not widely known. The rabbits began flirting as they ate, and Sejun watched them, wondering what had happened to them. He assumed that they must have lost their farms, and, after wandering for some time, found this cave and him. He wanted to know if the rabbits had a hometown to return to, but he couldn't understand them, and they couldn't understand him beyond basic farming terminology. Sejun expressed this to the husband rabbit, saying that he wished they could understand each other, but the rabbit didn't understand human speech either, and was confused. Now that they were done eating, Sejun said they should head back to the farm. Today was an important day for all of them, and the husband rabbit was also excited. They reached the farm to find the cherry tomatoes perfectly ripe. Sejun was amazed to see them. They were even better than the tomatoes he brought with him. The rabbits were also pleased to see the red tomato fruits. Sejun grew sentimental as he said that now was the time to harvest them. They had worked so hard to grow them. They had harvested one after the blue moon, but it didn't count. Sejun was nervous as he went to harvest the first tomato. His hand trembled, and the rabbits watched him anxiously too. However, Sejun picked a fruit that easily separated from the branch. He exclaimed that this was his first cherry tomato, and it had ripened so well. The tomatoes brought more good news. Sejun saw information windows telling him that he had harvested a well-ripened magical cherry tomato and would receive 10 experience points for it. Sejun was surprised to learn that these tomatoes were also magical, just like the blue tomato. He read their information and discovered that when consumed, this tomato would decompose 10 grams of fat and increase 0.1 MP magic points for 10 minutes. The MP effect could be stacked up to 10 times, with a maximum time limit of 1 hour. Although this information was impressive, Sejun's name was listed as the cultivator of the tomato, and it was mentioned that it was an E-grade item with a shelf life of 30 days. Sejun was impressed that even though the effect of one tomato was quite small, if 10 of them were eaten together, that it was an E-grade name was listed as the time limit of 1 hour. Although Sejun cherry tomato, except for one that was unripe. He received only 7 experience points for the unripe tomato. Sejun was taken aback by his mistake, but he still got 7 experience points, and the unripe fruit returned to being a normal tomato. Sejun thought he had harvested enough crops for the day. He took a tomato and said he should have a taste, but the rabbits stomped their feet aggressively, and Sejun looked at them. They were angry, and he apologized. Sejun offered the tomatoes to them, saying they had achieved this together, so they should reap the rewards together, too. The husband rabbit was furious, but picked up a tomato. Sejun said they should celebrate the successful harvest and everyone should eat. When Sejun ate the tomato, his mind was blown. He felt as if he were lying on soft green grass, looking up at the clear night sky. Then, suddenly, a flare flew into the sky and exploded like a the sweet and sour fireworks in the in the rabbit's onion leaves. Sejun lay down and watched and use an eye mask, both made of onion leaves. Sejun sleep now, as he was feeling sleepy, lay down and 100 magical cherry tomatoes to the tower manager. The reward was a job-related skill, and the penalty was the same as before, death. However, Sejun was deeply asleep and did not notice the quest window. Suddenly, it began ringing loudly like an alarm, and satisfied with Sejun's offering, he offered 100 tomatoes. Sejun complained that the manager was forcing him to do things and that he better receive something more useful this time. Upon opening the reward, Sejun discovered that his new skill was Harvest Level 1. This skill enabled him to obtain harvested crops in optimum condition even if they were slightly overripe or underripe. Initially, Sejun was disappointed and questioned why he needed a harvesting skill. However, as he harvested tomatoes with his husband Rabbit, he found the skill to be more useful than he initially thought. Whenever he harvested slightly overripe or underripe tomatoes, the skill would activate, perfecting them to their optimum condition. As he did this, the proficiency of the harvest skill increased. Sejun admitted that since he did not have to wait for the cherry tomatoes to ripen, it was easier and faster for him. After they finished, but just then, he received another quest. Sejun had anticipated it, but he was not expecting the quest to have no reward. Sejun called the manager a thief for giving no reward, but since his last reward had helped him significantly, Sejun could at least give him that much. As he offered the tomatoes to the manager, the husband Rabbit was shocked, but Sejun did not know that he was entering a vicious cycle. The manager issued quests again and again, with increasing demands and greed. The required number of tomatoes kept increasing, and finally, the manager reached new heights of shamelessness. The new quest was triggered, and Sejun had to offer 500 tomatoes to the manager for no reward. The penalty for refusing was still death. Sejun, infuriated, clearly refused to comply. After calmly refusing, Sejun threw a tantrum, stating that the manager had already taken hundreds of tomatoes. He needed to eat too, and so did the rabbits. The tower manager replied that it was the farmer's problem, not his, and told Sejun to stop protesting and give him the cherry tomatoes. This irritated Sejun even more. He said that he had worked hard for days and suffered a lot to harvest those tomatoes. The tower manager insisted that Sejun's job was as simple as sowing seeds and asked him not to overreact over something that was not a big deal. This was where the tower manager crossed the line. He should listen to his orders. Sejun replied that this was the reason he was not giving the tomatoes. The manager forcibly made him do this and did not even appreciate his efforts. Moreover, the compensation for the exploitation was also too low. Since it was the manager of the tower, this proved that it was a bad employer. Sejun's words and the hurt in his eyes shocked the tower manager. It hadn't realized this before and tried to apologize, but Sejun was already eating the tomatoes while teasing the manager. The manager got angry, telling Sejun it was upset because he ate the tomatoes himself. The manager threatened to kill Sejun on the spot if he didn't complete the request, but Sejun acted as if the manager was no big deal and gave him just 5 tomatoes. He said that he would give the rest later since he needed them to feed the kids, too. Behind him, 2 baby rabbits were fighting for a tomato as their father tried to calm them. The tomato vanished, and the tower manager said that it would compromise this time. Sejun thanked the manager, and the message window vanished. He laughed to himself, realizing that the manager was about to apologize just now. But then he said out loud that the tower manager was simpler than he thought. It is now the 91st day, and the 4th blue moon event occurs. Sejun is sitting in a dark corner eating cherry tomatoes. He had heard that people with high MP could endure the roars of monsters to a certain level, which is why he was eating the tomatoes. Still, he hopes that nothing like the last time happens again. As Sejun wishes for time to pass quickly, his plants begin to gleam in the blue light. Sejun realizes what is going on as the energy of the light enters a tomato, turning it blue. Sejun cannot wait to harvest it, but he notices that the tomato plants are not the only ones being blessed. Even the sweet potato leaves are getting illuminated. The desire to check on them overcomes Sejun, and he walks towards his farm. He digs out the sweet potatoes with his bare hands and is amazed at the results. He now has a blue sweet potato in his hand, filled with the energy of the blue moon. When consumed, it would increase one's strength by 0.5 points permanently. The system window informs him that he has harvested a sweet potato with the energy of the blue moon, which has gained him a lot of experience. The proficiency of the skill harvest has also increased, and now it will be leveled up.
Target spotted B. Somebody's there. No surprises.
Last player standing. Spike down B. Spike planted.
Cutting their vision.
Phoenix killed.
They will cower! See nothing.
One enemy remaining.
Don't insult me.
All right, homies, chill.
We'll go again. Damn, you love being here. Way too much.
Coward, run!
Xeon is expanding its business in each country in Asia. In Singapore, we manufacture...
Gotcha. Rash is ready.
Sejun then looks at the blue tomato and harvests it. As he holds the sweet potato in one hand and the tomato in the other, Sejun thinks he is holding the world in his hands. But that happiness is soon disturbed by a quest Sejun was expecting, and there are not one but two quests. Sejun has to offer both products imbued with the energy of the blue moon to the manager. There is no reward for either of the quests, and the penalty is death. Sejun thinks that the manager is really pushing it with two quests at a time. If Sejun refuses, the manager might just kill him this time. However, Sejun has a way to solve this issue. He offers 500 tomatoes to the manager, saying that he needs to complete the previous quest first. The manager quickly accepts the tomatoes and says that he is happy with the cherry tomatoes. But then the manager asks Sejun why he has not given the energy-filled crops to it already. Sejun apologizes for calling the manager simple earlier, asking them to let this slide for today and promising to give them later. The manager sighs and accepts this condition. Sejun then looks at the items in his hands and wonders what he should do with them, and that is not even a question. He tosses the blue tomato into his mouth and shudders. He could feel the summer festival and the fireworks in his mouth again, almost as if it were the first time he ate the tomatoes. The system window tells him that his MP has permanently increased by 0.5 due to eating the tomato. But then he wraps the sweet potato in onion leaves and throws it into the fire. He thinks it would be even better if he had tin foil with him, but the multi-purpose onion leaves are good enough. Sejun is happy and says that the time spent waiting for delicious food is the happiest time. The blue moon passes and the rabbits also come out.
Watch out!
Joke's over! You're dead!
Down. Somebody's there.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Many enemies A.
Last player standing.
They all have questions for Sejun as they see him cooking something. He says that they had great timing as he was just about to call them. Sejun then excitedly says that he presents to them the sweet potato with the energy of the blue moon, and its delicious smell makes the rabbits drool. Sejun says that it is not much, but they should share it. But the husband rabbit stands in front of his family and stops them from taking up Sejan's offer. They are saddened as he tells them something, and Sejan realizes what the rabbit is saying. He wants Sejan to eat the sweet potato himself, as there is only one. Sejan is touched and thanks the husband rabbit for being the only one thinking about it. But even as Sejan agrees to eat the sweet potato alone, he is hiding the fact that he has already secretly eaten it. Sejan peels the sweet potato and takes a bite, but it is too hot, and he burns his tongue, spitting out whatever he just bit. The sweet potato in his hand falls to the ground as Sejan screams about burning his tongue and scalding his palate. The rabbits watch the sweet potato on the ground. The husband rabbit reaches down to grab a piece of the sweet potato, but his children swipe everything before him and then eat it. However, it is too hot for them, and they too spit it out. The baby rabbits start crying, and the husband rabbit is dejected that he got nothing, and that the sweet potato got wasted. This is another entry in Sejan's diary in the tower. He ate a fiery meal today, a little too hot for his liking. A few days later, Sejan is telling the baby rabbits that they are going to plant sweet potato sprouts from now on. The rabbits are confused, and Sejan says that it was the thing they were eating right now. Sejan scolds them and says that the baby rabbits are prohibited from eating the sweet potato sprouts for the time being. These words come as a devastating shock to the rabbits. The sweet potato sprouts have been their favorite snacks lately, and now they are trying to protest against Sejan's decision. All of them have different reactions to the order, and Sejan says that no matter how they complain, his decision is final. He thinks that there will be nothing left to plant if the babies keep on eating the sprouts. Sejun tries to convince the rabbits by saying that they will be having even better sweet potatoes for dinner, but they have to help him plant the sweet potato sprouts before that. In return, he would give them a special snack. Sejan has decided to expand the farm area to cultivate sweet potatoes, and for that, he needs the baby rabbits to cooperate with him. As soon as he tells them about the special snacks, they look at him with drooling mouths and gleaming eyes. Sejan tells them to
Fire in the hole!
We need to suffer.
Watch out.
Spike planted.
They will cower! See nothing.
One enemy remaining.
Someone's there.
Don't rush me. Deep breaths, everyone. Your hearts are pounding.
Reloading!
start working, and the rabbits carry the sprouts to plant them. Their mother is harvesting the green onions, and Sejan asks her to leave one plant. It will then bloom a flower, and Sejan could get seeds from it. He has reached the conclusion.
Spike down A.
Still inside.
Good attempt.
Cutting their vision.
Spike here.
Your duty is not over.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A. seconds left.
Reloading. Reloading.
Y'all better keep up.
What do you need? What do you need?
Sensor down.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Sensor drift. Target spotted.
Feeling sight.
One enemy remaining.
Spike spotted.
Spike down A.
Reloading.
Spike planted.
Still in sight. My ult ready. They're losing heart. I can feel it.
They should stop trying. Enemy A. Watch out. Someone's being enemy.
Kill confirmed. Sensor destroyed.
Someone's B.
You disappoint me.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
One enemy remaining.
Cutting their vision.
For you.
Grateful like you.
There's no need for the enemy to suffer.
What do you need? What do you need? What do you need?
I need a drop.
Conclusion that he needs to plant a seed for something to become an item.
Come on, let's go! Watch out!
Here.
I know exactly where you are.
Last player
spotted
standing.
No surprises.
In the newly expanded farm area, the baby rabbits are hard at work. One of them digs holes, and the other plants the sprouts in them. But in a corner, one of the babies is too greedy to part with his favorite snack. He cannot control his urge and takes a bite of the leaf. Reacting to that, his father smacks him for doing something like that. Sejan is also harvesting the tomatoes, and he gets a lot of messages from the tower system. He has ranked up from an F-rank farmer to an E-rank farmer. His job level has increased, and his job characteristics will be strengthened because of this. Sejan is also glad to know that he has reached level 8. To celebrate, he decides to make the snacks a bit earlier. He takes the cherry tomatoes and puts them on a skewer. At the same time, he gets a message from the tower manager. The manager was keeping an eye on Sejun and what he was going to cook today. The message disappears soon, and Sejun thinks that this was quite a harmless action. He begins roasting the cherry tomatoes and then calls the rabbits to start eating. They leave their work and come running to him, and Sujin presents them with special roasted cherry tomatoes on bone skewers. The information window for the roasted tomatoes also opens. The skewer used by Sejun was made from cleaned piranha bones, and because of the cooking, the tomatoes were softer and sweeter. The rabbits take a skewer each, and they look really excited to eat it. Sejun tells them that it is easy to carry around and eat in this form, but he also warns them that it is quite hot, and they should blow on it before eating. However, the rabbits are already enjoying it. Sejun then says that since the sweet potato sprouts were already planted, they should dig some sweet potatoes for dinner. As Sejun digs the sweet potatoes, he finds 5 sweet potatoes in a plant. He reads the information about them, and they are called strength sweet potatoes. They have similar effects to the magical tomato, but with strength. Anyone who eats them would gain an additional 0.1 strength for 10 minutes. And this effect can be stacked up to 10 times in an hour. The other effect is that it would break down 10 grams of fat and help with bowel movements. And this bonus would also apply to those who have not awakened yet. Sejun counts that he now has 15 sweet potatoes, which means he got 5 potatoes for each one he sowed, and that is pretty good for a first harvest. But then Sejun spots a fallen potato sprout. He plants it, thinking it would be a waste to leave even a single sprout. But then he gets messages from the system saying that the proficiency of the skill sowing is increasing because of this action. Now, Sejun realizes that even this qualifies as sowing, and he also realizes that he must plant all the sprouts himself to increase his skill level. Sejun asks the baby rabbits to stop in a hurry because now he wants to do it himself. Inside its office, the manager tries to replicate what Sejun just did. It has cherry tomatoes on a skewer, and they are roasted over a fire. The manager eats the tomatoes and immediately spits some of them out since they are burned and bitter. But then it ponders what was wrong with its tomatoes. The humans seem to eat them fondly. Then the sweet taste of the tomatoes spreads through its mouth, and the manager realizes how delicious they are. Now it uses the magic crystal ball to see what Sejun is doing at the moment. When the manager finds him eating sweet potatoes with the rabbits, it gets angry. It screams, saying, "How could those punks start eating sweet potatoes without me? I am the great black dragon alien Friton." The manager sends a quest to Sejun immediately, demanding 1 roasted sweet potato. There are no rewards for this quest, and the punishment for refusing is death. Sejun is not in the mood to do the quest and tells the manager to postpone it. The manager is shocked and says that it wants the sweet potatoes right now. If Sejun does not give them, there will be consequences. Sejun says that there is only 1 sweet potato left. He asks the manager what it could offer in reward. The manager considers it for a while and then revises the quest. A reward is added for another job-related skill. Sejun thinks that this reward is good enough and offers the sweet potato to the manager. He opens the reward and finds that it is a level 1 seed store. When this skill is activated, Sejun can buy a product at the seed shop every 30 days. Sejun is overjoyed. A seed store means that he can purchase things inside the tower that are similar to what other awakened individuals have. He says that this was an amazing reward, and the tower manager should have given it to him earlier. Sejun activates the skill, and the seed store is open. Before that, it checks the transaction history of Sejun and finds that there were no previous transactions. But thinking about the transactions, Sejun arrives at an important question. How should he make purchases when he has no money? But then he gets another message that the store will offer entry-level services to the customer, Sejun. He is the first rookie-tier customer at the seed store, and because of that, a tower coin appears in front of Sejun, and he is shocked. He says that the seed store is the kindest and the best. The tower coin is a currency used inside the tower, but in the outside world, the cost of each tower coin is 1,000,000 won. Sejun opens the seed store to see what he can buy there. The message window tells him that for the rookie tier, he could see 3 random types of seeds, and at his current level, Sejun could only purchase one of them. The 3 types of seeds for this time are shown, and Sejun sees that he can buy 1,000 seeds of either red pepper, cabbage, or carrots for 0.1 tower coin each. Sejun thinks that the name Seed Store is quite fitting as it only has seeds. But then he looks at the price and thinks about the outside world's value of the tower coin. He is getting 1,000 seeds for 100,000 won, which is very expensive. Sejun considers what he should choose. Red pepper and cabbage could be a good combo to make kimchi, but he cannot buy them together, nor does he have the resources to process them here. The only option left is carrots. As soon as he says carrots, the attention of all the rabbits turns to Sejun. He asks them what is wrong, and the rabbits try to tell him that they want carrots. Sejun sees their excited expressions and says carrots again, getting the same reaction as before. He is enjoying this a bit too much, and the husband rabbit kicks him in the face for wasting time. Sejun purchases the carrot seeds for 0.1 tower coin and receives 1 seed store mile. The mileage can be used to raise the level of his seed store, and he needs 100 points to reach the next level. Sejun receives the seeds in a fancy pouch and thinks that the pouch is more expensive than the seeds themselves. But then he sees a message from the manager saying that it is satisfied with Sejun's purchase. Sejun makes a face and asks why it is getting satisfied. This is another entry in his diary. Now he has acquired carrot seeds by trading at the seed store. Sejun is excited to plant carrots, and so are the rabbits. But someone else is watching them from a distance. A large and cute bee observes Sejun and the rabbits as they celebrate acquiring carrot seeds. The bee, intrigued by the scene, hovers closer to get a better look at the new seeds and the joyous celebration of Sejun and the rabbit. Then, as the scene shifts, we see the husband and wife rabbits happily singing and lounging beside the area where Sejun had planted the carrot seeds. Observing their joy, Sejun realizes that even though the carrots haven't sprouted yet, the rabbits must have a strong affinity for them. However, he decides to let them enjoy themselves and takes a nap. After waking up, Sejun plans to pollinate the flowers and harvest the green onions. As Sejun closes his eyes, a baby rabbit also snuggles up and falls asleep beside him. But suddenly, he notices a buzzing sound whizzing past his ear. Sejun tries to swat away the annoyance without fully waking up, but the buzzing persists. Frustrated, he mutters, "Why did a bug have to show up now?" Curiosity gets the better of him, and he finally gets up to investigate. To his surprise, he finds a giant and adorable bee. The bee gazes at Sejun with curiosity, and he stammers for a moment before exclaiming, "She's so cute!" He assumes that this bug must be a monster in disguise. Sejun cautiously calls the bee closer, hoping to identify its monster form. However, his joy quickly fades when he discovers that it is a poison honeybee. Fear seizes him as he reads the name. He turns to ask the rabbits if they know whether the bee is dangerous or not. However, the rabbit couple has already hurriedly retreated with their children to their burrow. They are scared of the poisonous bee, leaving Sejun stunned as he watches them flee. He yells at the rabbits, calling them mean, his face contorting as he questions how they could leave him alone like this. Seeking answers, Sejun turns to the tower manager, who provides him with more information. The manager explains that poison honeybees are carnivorous creatures that hunt monsters using their venomous stingers. The stingers pose a significant threat, and the manager advises Sejun to stay away from them. Sejun becomes fearful after learning that these bees feed on meat, causing him to believe that they are no longer truly honeybees. As the bee approaches, Sejun frantically tries to shoo her away, insisting that he's just a bag of bones with no meat to offer. He pleads with the bee, hoping she would spare him, but she continues to draw near. Sejun perceives her as a terrifying monster, his fear growing. In his desperation, Sejun fumbles around with his other hand, searching for something to defend himself. To his surprise, he grasps a broken branch from a tomato plant, complete with a single flower. Sejun swings the makeshift weapon towards the bee, suggesting that she should feast on the flower instead of him. The bee, intrigued, gazes at the tomato flower, and Sejun remains apprehensive as she approaches. However, when he opens his eyes, he realizes that the bee was actually feasting on the flower's nectar. Sejun is taken aback, but then the bee, with a contented expression, smiles at him. Sejun questions the tower manager, asking if they were sure the bees were carnivorous, but receives no response. Then, a realization dawns on Sejun. He remembers something quite fundamental. gentle. Bees have a fondness for nectar. He cautiously approaches the honeybee and suggests that if she's still hungry, there are plenty of other flowers she can enjoy. Seo Jun encourages her to indulge to her heart's content, and the poison honeybee happily flutters towards the blossoms. Seo Jun
Wingman's gonna plant spike.
Fire in the hole!
The wingman's target down.
Prepare for hellfire!
Throwing net.
Last player standing.
They're just batteries. And I need a recharge.
Dizzy's up.
One under. One window.
Targets. Throwing net. Reloading.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Still in sight.
I know exactly where you are.
No surprise.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Cutting their vision.
Damn, that was impressive. Mexico represent.
Gonna here.
On my mark. On my mark. On my mark. Careful here. Up you go.
Cutting their vision.
Wingman
No
planting. Spike planting. Thanks, Wings.
There.
Hold. I lost skill.
Reloading.
Joke's over. You're dead.
Combat is a means to an end. And we are the means.
Watch your eyes.
Dizzy's up top.
Reload him.
Wingman's gonna plant spike.
Careful now.
Spike sticky. Thanks, little man.
Target spotted. Sensor down. Sensor down. Blocking movement. Enemy
Cypher.
spotted.
Bro, you blocked me, man.
Target spotted B.
Last player standing.
Saw you, little homie.
What the fuck?
Rash hit him.
You want me serious? You got it.
Bro, they blocked me. I don't even have enough time. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot to use the. What?
No escape.
They will cower!
My ultimate's ready. Flash! Reload him. Watch out!
One enemy remaining.
Ultimate ready.
Spike planted. Blow him up, Mosh.
Pull them to their grave.
Watch out.
Nothing there.
Gun here.
Prepare yourself. We fight once again.
More like they like to waste their ultimate.
Here.
On my way, on my way.
TV.
Target spotted.
Insecto. Still in sight.
Up and away.
Still in sight.
Somebody's there.
Throwing net.
Going up.
One enemy remaining. Match point.
Stamp out their last breath.
Anyone need some of them?
Here.
OP.
Cutting their vision.
Reload.
Dizzy's up. Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Reloading.
Target spotted.
Spike sticky. Thanks, little man.
Prepare for hellfire.
Pick.
Last player standing.
What are you saying?
Switching sides. Overtime.
This is crazy. It feels like we've been doing this forever. Anyone else feel like that? Just me?
We go! Watch out! You're out. Put down. Someone's B. Watch out.
Can heal.
For you. Over there. Watch out. Headshot. Enemy spotted B.
One enemy remaining. Switching sides. Match point.
They think themselves are equals? They are mistaken.
Right there. It begins. Right there.
DNA.
Sensor eliminated. Cállate.
Go.
Wingman's gonna plant spike.
They're all in B.
Careful now.
Phoenix killed.
Spike flash out. Thanks, Wing.
One enemy remaining.
Let's go.
Someone. Watch out.
Knife him. Flash. Flashing.
Do not like us.
Attackers win.
Think once more.
Jun smiles to himself, realizing that what he initially feared turned out to be a pleasant surprise. With the bee's presence, he won't have to manually pollinate the cherry tomatoes anymore. His gaze falls upon the rabbit family, hidden behind a rock. Seo Jun gives them a reproachful glance, remarking that they had run away, only concerned about themselves. He questions how they dare to return. The rabbits, attempting to appease Seo Jun's anger, cling to him and adopt a cute demeanor. Sejan asserts that he won't stop being mad at them. However, just as he finishes speaking, the poison honeybee returns, having finished her meal. She flies directly towards Seo Jun, causing him to take a few steps back until he's backed against the rock. Seo Jun asks the bee if she isn't full yet, apprehensive about his safety. To his surprise, the bee lands gently on his stomach. Seo Jun, adjusting his t-shirt and stretching a bit, realizes that the bee didn't mean to harm or frighten him. She just wanted to sleep, and Seo Jun finds her incredibly cute even while she's asleep. However, a small part of his mind remains anxious, and Seo Jun asks the bee if she isn't planning to sting him. Surprisingly, the rabbits haven't run away either. Seo Jun realizes that he has another chapter to add to his diary about getting lost in the tower. Today, his family in the dungeon has gained one more member. A few weeks have passed since Seo Jun's first encounter with the bee, and the tomato crops are ready to be harvested once again. The wall where Seo Jun marked the number of days now displays 24 characters. Each character represents 5 days, which means he has been here for 120 days. We see Seo Jun diligently harvesting tomatoes alongside the wife rabbit, while the husband rabbit tends to the carrot seedling, watering them. The baby rabbits can continue to play around, occasionally disturbing Seo Jun as they get too close. He scolds them and instructs them to go somewhere else. The baby rabbits run off without a care, and Seo Jun glances at their siblings, who are engrossed in their own playful activities. Seeing them so carefree, Seo Jun comments that they're having a great time. After all, they should enjoy playing while they're still young. The poison honeybee joins Seo Jun, settling on his shoulder. He asks her if she has had her fill of nectar for the day. As she lands, Seo Jun reflects that several weeks have passed since the poison honeybee arrived and became a part of their family. He informs her that it will soon be lunchtime, and the bee seems excited, gently rubbing her cheek against Seo Jun's. He remarks that the poison honeybee has developed a routine. She works in the fields during the morning, collecting nectar, and in the evening she returns to the forest outside the cave. Thanks to her contributions, his workload has significantly decreased. He calls out to the rabbits, announcing that it's time to eat, and they eagerly eagerly rush towards him. He believes that the poison honeybee probably won't go back to her original group or hive. Maybe she didn't even have one to begin with. Regardless, she has found her place among their unconventional family, and they have accepted her with open arms. As they enjoy their meal, Seo-jun holds a roasted green onion stem, and the honeybee perches on it. Recently, she started spitting honey, and she continues to do so now. The honey drips over the roasted onion, creating a unique dish called honey onion. The sweet flavor of the freshly roasted green onion is elevated by the sticky and sweet honey from the poison honeybee. Seo-jun, knowing the secret behind this combination, takes a bite of the honey onion and exclaims, "Wow, it's incredibly sweet and delicious." The rabbits also share his delight as they savor the honey-coated food. Seo-jun engages in conversation with the honeybee, expressing his initial fear when he discovered her poisonous nature. However, he quickly acknowledges the positive impact she has had on his life. Thanks to her, he could obtain honey promptly, and she even helped expand his farming field. As Seo-jun relishes the honey onion, he expresses his gratitude to the honeybee for her valuable assistance. He mentions that in a few months he will consume so much honey that he'll rival the bears in the wild. Suddenly, a message from the Tower Master appears, conveying the Master's joy for Seo-jun's progress. However, as V turns to read the message, it vanishes before his eyes. Several more days pass, and Seo-jun realizes that the blue moon is approaching soon. He reads the characters on the stone wall while the baby rabbits continue their playful antics and munch on food. Seo-jun feels a slight unease about the upcoming blue moon, even though nothing bad has happened during previous occurrences. He understands that anything can go wrong at any moment. Hoping for a safe blue moon this time, he reflects on the fact that it is the 121st day since he got lost and coincides with the day of the blue moon, which occurs every 30 days. Seo-jun is carrying a bag made of onion leaves filled with cherry tomatoes. He puts them inside their usual food hiding place, a rock circle covered with green onion leaves. Seo-jun is also wearing a jacket made of green onion leaves, and he remarks that this much food will be enough. However, his attention is drawn to the rabbit family. The husband rabbit and wife rabbit were trying to tell their children something, and the children were listening attentively. Seo-jun also notices that the rabbits seem especially anxious today. As it is almost time for the blue moon, Seo-jun asks them to go home. However, he stops mid-sentence as he sees the rabbit family huddle up. Seo-jun cannot think of anything that would make them behave so seriously, but they don't appear worried or scared either. Seo-jun is about to ask the rabbits if everything is all right when the rabbit couple suddenly bolts towards their home, leaving their kids behind. They rush inside their house, and Seo-jun is shocked by their actions. However, the rabbit couple turns back and waves at their children. They utter words that Seo-jun cannot comprehend, and with that, they quickly shut the door, leaving Seo-jun in a state of shock. He is astounded by what he has just witnessed. Seo-jun questions how the parent rabbits could leave their little ones exposed during the blue moon. However, before he can finish his sentence, the blue moon event commences. The moon eclipses the sun, casting a blue light that blankets the world. Seo-jun catches the sound of a menacing creature's roar emerging from behind him, leaving him speechless. Anxious, he slowly turns around to witness a sight that will forever be etched in his memory. To his astonishment, the noise intensifies, growing into louder roars and growls, but they are not originating from an external source. The source of the cacophony is none other than the baby rabbits. They no longer resemble their once adorable selves. Now they have undergone a startling transformation, turning into ferocious monsters devoid of reason. Seo-jun watches in silent disbelief as the baby rabbits, now towering and monstrous, have increased in size. Their fur has turned white, their eyes burn red, and they possess menacingly sharp claws and fangs. As the baby rabbits roar, Seo-jun finds himself questioning the reality of the situation. Seo-jun, left bewildered and confused, exclaims, "What on earth is happening here?" Unable to make sense of the situation, he believes that his fate is sealed. However, in a sudden twist, something completely unexpected occurs. The rabbits begin to emit a brilliant purple light, dazzling in its brightness. The radiance becomes so intense that Seo-jun is forced to shield his eyes, closing them tightly. Gradually, as the light subsides, a remarkable transformation takes place. The baby rabbits undergo a mesmerizing evolution, gradually growing and maturing until they resemble their parents. 4 of them take on the appearance of white farming rabbits, while one stands out in striking contrast, its fur a deep pitch-black color. As the rabbits frolic and bounce about in sheer delight, Seo-jun stands there, mouth agape, utterly astounded by the incredible sight unfolding before him. In a state of shock, Seo-jun asks them if they have become adult rabbits now, and the rabbits happily affirm this. Seo-jun now realizes that it must be a part of the farmer rabbit's growth cycle. It is the 4th blue moon night since they were born, and Seo-jun wonders if this is some kind of coming-of-age ceremony. Suddenly, Seo-jun reflects on how he thought something was wrong with the rabbits. He covers his face with his hands and starts sobbing. Seeing this, the rabbits are all shocked and worried. The black rabbit tries to console Seo-jun, wanting him to not be sad anymore. When Seo-jun sees this gesture, he realizes that the rabbit's nature is still the same as before. Seo-jun becomes overwhelmed by the cuteness of the rabbits who have just reached adulthood. He stops behaving sadly and starts calling the rabbits little cute things. He even wants to give them retribution kisses, which makes the other rabbits run away. Finally, the blue moon passes, and everything returns to normal. After that, the husband rabbit opens the door, and his wife is just behind him. They see that their kids have grown up, and they are currently sitting around a fire with Seo-jun. Seo-jun waves to them, and the husband rabbit cannot stop smiling. The couple rushes to their kids, and they hug them tightly. Seo-jun fondly watches the heartwarming scene unfold. He wonders if he should prepare a coming-of-age feast for the rabbits as a gift. However, his attention is drawn to one rabbit who excitedly raises his hand and says something.
Ritz toasted chips. Nivea Men Deep Rapid Acne deeply cleanse, reduce oil and acne recurrence in 7 days.
Seo-jun watches him carefully, and then, out of nowhere, a shovel appears in the rabbit's hand. The rabbit proudly displays it, and Seo-jun is surprised to see it. He asks what they all have because it's not just one rabbit. All his siblings have something. Seo-jun observes that one of the rabbits has gotten a sickle and a bandana. Another rabbit has acquired a cart and is happily hauling his black rabbit brother. One of the white rabbits had a watering can, and the rabbit with the shovel was the first to show his tool. The rabbits are glad to have their tools and affectionately show them off, while their parents enthusiastically clap for them. Seo-jun realizes what has just happened. The rabbits can summon items. He understands that when the rabbits become adult farmer rabbits, they can have their own tools, but Seo-jun can't use those tools. Then suddenly the white rabbit with the cart accidentally drops the black rabbit. Seo-jun, puzzled by the turn of events, wonders why the black rabbit isn't summoning his own tool like the others. Determined to prove himself, the black rabbit summons his tool, much to Seo-jun's surprise. The tool that materializes is a massive wooden hammer, towering in size, especially for a rabbit. Seo-jun finds himself questioning why the black rabbit possesses such an unusual tool that doesn't seem like a typical farming implement. However, the black rabbit displays a hint of defiance, subtly conveying that he is no ordinary rabbit. Seo-jun takes notice of the rabbit's distinctiveness. While he could easily identify his siblings as white farmer rabbits, this particular rabbit stands apart. He is a warrior, black rabbit. Catching Seo-jun's mention of his name, the black rabbit winks mischievously, adding an air of intrigue to the situation. After a while, the rabbits begin working on the farm. Now the children are also working as diligently as their parents, and sometimes even outperforming them. The rabbit with the watering can supports his father in watering the plants. The one with the sickle swiftly cuts the green onions, impressing her mother with her skill. The rabbit with the cart carries tomatoes, while the one with the shovel digs holes for new crops. Then, the rabbit with the cart arrives, pushing a cart filled with ripe tomatoes, and Seo-jun instructs the rabbit to place the tomatoes in a nearby heap. As he sees the rabbit's work, tears of joy forms in his eye, witnessing how the once cute little babies have grown up so well. However, Seo-jun notices that the black warrior rabbit is lying beside him, happily munching on tomatoes without a care in the world. Seo-jun realizes that this particular rabbit doesn't have a specific job at the moment. Curious, he strikes up a conversation with the black rabbit, mentioning that as a warrior rabbit, his role would typically involve fighting. But since they are in the cave, there are no monsters to battle against. Seo-jun understands that without any threats to the farm, the black rabbit doesn't have a clear purpose. The black rabbit acknowledges this, feeling a little disappointed. Seo-jun admits that even the black rabbit's mighty hammer wouldn't be of much use in farming tasks, and wonders what they should do next. However, to Seo-jun's surprise, The black rabbit eagerly comes up with an idea and gestures excitedly. The black rabbit leads Seo-jun to a pond within the cave, pointing towards it with enthusiasm. Seo-jun exclaims, realizing the brilliance of the idea. Hunting fish in the pond can be considered a different kind of battle, and this way the black rabbit can also contribute in a helpful way. Then, Seo-jun comes up with a plan. He will use a torch to lure out the fish from the pond, while the black rabbit will be in charge of catching them. Seo-jun asks the black rabbit to show off his warrior skills, and the rabbit eagerly agrees. Seo-jun waves the torch near the edge of the pond, and suddenly a piranha leaps out of the water, drawn towards the flame. Seo-jun tells the black rabbit that it's his moment to shine, and the rabbit jumps up with his mighty hammer. With a powerful swing, the black warrior rabbit strikes the fish, sending it flying through the air. The fish crashes into the cave wall with a tremendous impact, leaving Seo-jun astonished by the result. He witnesses how the black rabbit's attack completely shatters the fish, turning it into mush. Bits of fish meat scatter in all directions, and only the head and bones remain intact. The black rabbit turns back, giving Seo-jun a thumbs up, unaware of the mess he has created. Seo-jun is utterly shocked by the outcome, and his reaction is completely justified. Later, when he presents the fish at dinner, it dampens the mood. A sense of disappointment hangs over the dinner table, and both Seo-jun and the black rabbit feel disheartened. Even the other rabbits are not too pleased about having to eat a fish in such a state. Seo-jun tries to console the black rabbit, assuring him that he will get better with practice. He encourages the rabbit not to be sad and to enjoy the food. Gradually, all the rabbits start adjusting to their roles, including the black warrior rabbit, who becomes more adept at catching fish after his initial failure. He can now swiftly catch fish with just his hands, and Seo-jun cheers him on. The other rabbits are also occupied with their respective tasks, and everything is going smoothly. Another day dawns, and it marks the arrival of the 125th day. The 1-month waiting period to open the seed store has finally passed, and Seo-jun feels a surge of excitement as he sees the store open its doors once again. He eagerly wonders about the different types of crops that will be available this time and which option he should choose. The system window appears before Seo-jun, notifying him that at his current level, 3 random seeds are being sold today. However, he can only purchase one of them. The options presented to him are as follows: 50 sweet pumpkin seeds for 1 tower coin, 10 watermelon seeds for 5 tower coins, and 200 waxy corn seeds for 0.5 tower coin. Seo-jun is taken aback by the list of seeds this time, noting that the prices are much higher compared to the previous offering. He realizes that he only has 0.9 tower coins remaining after purchasing the carrot seeds last time. With this amount, Seo-jun can only afford to buy the waxy corn seed. He ponders over what he should do if the seed prices continue to rise. Worries fill his mind as he fears that he won't have enough money to buy anything the next time the seed store opens. Moreover, he feels stuck without any means to earn more money in this place. Seo-jun recalls that there were 3 ways to acquire tower coins within the tower. The first method involved receiving rewards for clearing a floor, but those rewards were only given once as a first clear bonus, and hunters didn't earn substantial profits from it. The second method entailed hunting monsters and selling their body parts. The monster parts could be sold to traveling merchants or the store on the first floor, and it was the best way for hunters to earn money. They could keep selling these parts to make a continuous profit. Another method was completing quests and receiving rewards for them, but it was more uncertain. The rewards varied a lot, so it was hard to know how much money could be earned. Seo-jun thinks about his situation. 2 of the options were not possible for him. He couldn't leave the tower, so clearing the floors was out of the question. That meant the only way he could make money was by completing quests given by the tower manager. Seo-jun calls out to the tower manager, asking if it can hear him. He requests to be rewarded with tower coins for completing quests now. The tower manager replies, saying it doesn't understand what Seo-jun means, but it promises to give him whatever he asked for when he grows up. Seo-jun is confused. The tower manager doesn't seem to know about tower coins and says it will give them to him when he's older. Seo-jun then asks how long he has to wait until he's considered a grown-up. The tower manager says he should be at least 300 years old. Seo-jun feels frustrated and expresses his anger towards the tower manager, questioning if it is playing a joke on him. He insists that he needs to keep a record of all the tower coins he is supposed to receive. receive and pass on this information to his future children. Seo-jun imagines a chain that spans 300 years, with his 7th-generation grandchildren eventually receiving the tower coins on his behalf. He expresses his frustration towards the manager, as this condition leaves him with no chance of even having children of his own. However, the tower manager remains unresponsive to Seo-jun's outburst, and the message windows suddenly disappear, showing its disinterest in continuing the conversation. Seo-jun realizes that getting angry won't help his situation. Instead, he decides to focus on what he can do in the present moment to improve his chances of comfortable survival. Seo-jun understands that he can only afford to purchase the waxy corn seeds at the moment, and he believes it's a good choice. Corn can be delicious when steamed or grilled, and Seo-jun even considers grinding it into flour to make something like bread, although he's not sure if the idea will work. Determined, Seo-jun selects the option to buy the corn seeds. The system confirms his purchase of 200 waxy corn seeds, deducting 0.5 tower coins from his seed bank account. Additionally, Seo-jun has earned 5 seed miles, which he can use to level up the seed store in the future. A new cooldown period begins, and the system notifies Seo-jun that he will be able to access the seed store again in 30 days. In the meantime, a cloth pouch filled with corn seeds descends into Seo-jun's hand. He opens the pouch and takes a handful of seeds, showing them to the husband rabbit. Seo-jun asks for his opinion on the seeds, wondering if they look good. The husband rabbit affirms that they are indeed of good quality. Seo-jun suggests that they begin their work, and all the rabbits happily join him. However, before they start, Seo-jun interrupts himself and suggests that they have something to eat first. They roast the fish and enjoy the tomatoes as side dishes. Seo-jun finally satisfies his hunger and declares that he can't eat anymore. He decides to dry the remaining fish and store it for later. The rabbits, too, are full and relax around the fire with Seo-jun. Suddenly, the poison honeybee approaches Seo-jun, and he warmly welcomes her. He asks if it's all right for her to stay in the cave instead of returning to her home. The honeybee smiles and affectionately rubs her cheek against Seo-jun, indicating that it's okay for her to stay permanently. Seo-jun is delighted by this. But then the honeybee's antennas sense something, and her expression turns serious. She flies up and faces the entrance with a determined look. The black rabbit also prepares himself with his hammer, sensing the presence of an intruder. Seo-jun notices the movement and exclaims that someone is definitely there. The black warrior rabbit expresses his anger towards the intruder, and the intruder responds, asking everyone not to misunderstand him. He clarifies that he is not a shameless cat who came to steal their food. Seo-jun is taken aback by the fact that the intruder is a talking cat and wonders how that is possible. The black rabbit and the poison honeybee are ready to fight, while the other rabbits are frightened. Seo-jun asks the cat why he has come here, and the cat jumps down and lands in front of him. The cat is wearing a cape and carrying a small bag. He stands up and extends his paw for a handshake. The cat asks if Seo-jun is the customer Park Sejin and introduces himself as the traveling merchant Theo. But Seo-jun was confused to see a talking cat. The black warrior rabbit behind him remains suspicious of the cat. However, Seo-jun recalls hearing that sometimes people meet traveling merchants as they ascend the tower, but he wasn't expecting the merchant to be a cat. Seo-jun finds the cat merchant quite adorable, with his big, shiny eyes, soft and chubby cheeks, and the jelly-like paws of his outstretched hand. Seo-jun can't help but imagine those jelly paws kneading on him, and being a cat lover, he feels excited. As the cat merchant tries to talk with Seo-jun, he tries to act cool and confident in front of him. Seo-jun asks the merchant what he wants. Theo explains that he heard about a new rookie who made transactions in the seed store, and he is here to greet Seo-jun and make some deals with him. Seo-jun is curious about the deals and asks Theo for more information. Theo rummages inside his bag and begins to explain, but before he could show him anything, his stomach growls loudly, making him nervous. He apologizes to Seo-jun, admitting that he hadn't eaten anything that day, and that's why he ended up showing an embarrassing image to a customer. Theo nervously laughs about the silly incident, while Seo-jun stares at him curiously. Suddenly, a mischievous grin appears on Seo-jun's face, hinting that he may have something up his sleeve, perhaps a plan to take advantage of the cat merchant. Seo-jun, with a bright smile, offers him a roasted fish. Seeing the fish, Theo was shocked that a loud mew came out of him. His eyes glisten, mouth drools, and ears twitch as he gazes at the delicious roasted fish. Seo-jun insists that Theo should not decline the offer, but Theo manages to control his hunger and tells Seo-jun that it's all right, as he cannot touch a customer's food. Seo-jun is slightly taken aback by Theo's response and tries to convince the cat merchant once again. He asks Theo if he really doesn't want to eat the fish, describing the irresistible smell of tender, grilled meat and emphasizing that it has the distinct fishy flavor that cats can't resist. Holding Theo's shoulder, Seo-jun insists that it's obvious Theo wants it and can have it. As Seo-jun persuades him further, Theo can't stop drooling, trying his best to resist but eventually giving in to temptation. He eats a lot and finally feels satisfied, expressing his fullness while happily laying down and holding a fishbone. Seo-jun tends to the fire, mentioning that it must have been really hungry since Theo devoured the fish. Theo sincerely thanks Seo-jun, feeling grateful for the treat and wondering how he can repay him. Seo-jun smiles, saying it was no big deal and that he should be the one thanked.